Let's talk for a minute about acclimating teacher candidates, and let me define acclimating as what happens when someone first comes in your room and you're getting them up to speed so they know where to put their purse, they know kind of the routines of the classroom. How do you figure out how to acclimate someone?
Well, I think it's important to pair them up with somebody. First of all, you show them around, give them the basics that everybody needs to know. Pair them up with someone and ask them to be as observant as they can, you know. And then from there, it's partially their responsibility to ask questions and your responsibility to let them know the important details. So, I mean, that's kind of how you start.
We always ask, what rooms they've been in before, or if this is their first day, because that helps us gauge on what they already should know and what we need to.
That's very important, is it? You got to know their background when they come in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've heard in your room that you have a veteran teacher, Miss Vera, who does a very good job at lunchtime. You give them the basics, and then Vera takes them around the whole room and gives them a lot of detail.
Yeah.
But they like that, don't they?
Mm-hmm. That's, I think, nap time is when what you're.
Yes, at nap time.
During nap, it's a good time for us to just, the kids are sleeping, we can still make sure we're keeping our eye on them, but get into them dirty, I guess you can say, about what else goes on in the room.
And how do you do it in the infant room? How do you get them acclimated?
Well, we make sure that, when they walk in, that they feel like they're welcomed and greeted. Everybody, introduces themselves. We do a quick, pairing up with somebody who's going to be working with them, and that person takes a couple of minutes and walks them around the room, introduces them to, the basic, where the diapers are, where the bottles are. If we say this, that means, we need you to do X, Y, and Z. Give them a heads up on the pace. Just say it's fast moving. If you ever feel overwhelmed, you have to speak up and let us know. We're going to try to give you as much information as possible. Feel free to ask questions as we go, and then we jump in.
Okay. And what's your philosophy on giving these very new people in your room feedback? Do you wait and store it up for 2 or 3 days, or is it a conversation?
We try our best to do a conversation type attitude, and when we see something that we think is important to discuss, we'd like to do it right then. Obviously not during work time or during a busy time where our focus should be solely on the children, but during nap time usually ends up being a great time to discuss the day.
Is that the same for you in level 1?
Yeah, it depends on what it is. If it's something that can wait till a quieter time, then obviously we'll wait. But if it's something that's more critical, especially when it's safety, or right from the start regulation, we'll stop right then and there. And we do ask, how comfortable they are changing the children, feeding the children, those kinds of things, because we're dealing with babies and they're delicate. So having somebody who's never fed a baby, we've had that happen before. We've had a sub come in and they've never given a baby a bottle. So then we spend a lot more time making sure that they understand, the proper way to hold them, to support their head, that kind of thing.
Right. Anything you want to add to that?
Not really. The only other thing I can think of is one thing that I found that's really important when acclimating teacher candidates is to give them a heads up on what is coming next.
Yes.
Because our day, we have a lot of things that happen in our day, changes, people coming in and out, children coming in and out, all these things, these moving parts, and it's kind of hard to, one thing that is easy to do is to just expect them to go with the flow, but it's a lot better if you just say, hey, 15 minutes, we're doing this, we're switching to this activity, get ready for X, Y, and Z, and that really helps them, I think.
The other thing I would say I've picked up in talking to teacher candidates and subs, all the rooms do a pretty good job at acclimating. Some of them, a couple rooms still will refer to the subs to their face as the subs. And they feel a little like they're nobody. And they don't, and what happens is those are the rooms they constantly say, I didn't feel welcome, right? You need to make, this is a stressful thing for them. Do you remember when you came in? It's very stressful. And it helps them a lot if you're talking to them a lot, even if it's feedback, hey, because they want to be successful, don't they? And we've gotten so much better about letting people know instantaneously. But if you wait 2 or 3 days, I've had a few subs say, nobody told me. Not so much anymore. I think we've all kind of learned that that's not helpful. But we all want to know something immediate, if we can. Okay, thank you.